All right, so we're starting our first ever episode of Functional Fitness Weekly. Coach Mario is located at the bottom left of your screen, and I am at the middle left of the screen. So every week we're going to discuss relevant topics in the fitness industry, CrossFit related as well as non-CrossFit related. Just because the industry is always changing. It's going to be different 5 years from now. It's vastly different today than it was 5 years ago. So with that in mind, we're just going to stay on top of the news and try to interpret it as best as we can and put our spin on it as well. So anything you wanted to say there, Mario, before we get head first into our first topic?
No, but I'm excited. I think it's a great idea that we both had, and we've had this in our heads for a while, and here we are, working through the first episode and the kinks, and yeah, man, just get to talk about what we're passionate about, and hopefully someone can take some golden nuggets to what we say and able to use them for themselves or allow us to bring up topics that they wouldn't know about otherwise. Our passion is fitness, and we want to extend ourselves. So I'm excited to do it, man. I'm ready to rock. Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay. So first topic we're going to talk about, this is relevant to me because this is hometown news for me. So Omaha.com posted an article about the two CrossFit individual athletes that we have in the games this year. Two ladies. One I used to work out with, Stacy Tovar. She's actually doing pretty well right now in the games. And then Sheila Barton. Before I left, I didn't even know anything about her. So I think she's a latecomer in the CrossFit world. I think this is her first year. She's a rookie, but she's doing pretty well. The last event she just did, she's impressive, especially with body weight movements. I was real impressed with her there. But it's a cool little article, just hyping them up. Most people in Nebraska don't have really any idea what CrossFit is. It's college football, and that's about it. But it's cool that the newspaper's covering them. Also, kind of shedding light on what's at stake. $275,000 to the winners. Of course, these ladies won't get that, but they'll probably. What do you think, Mario? What do you think these athletes might pull in if they're just for showing up at the games? They got to make at least 20,000 nowadays.
Yeah, there was a chart, man. I wish I'm just thinking about it, that they sent last year, and it was incremental. I mean, even it wasn't. I mean, the top 15 or 10 placers were getting some type of money, but I don't know. I know Reebok has a deal with them that prize purse is incrementally getting bigger and bigger. That's part of the contract that they have with them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make that, if not more. And then there's that other unique feature. I haven't heard about it yet, but I'm pretty sure they do it for. Remember, every individual that places first in an event receives a prize
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, they do. I don't. They talked about that when the first year they did that. I think that was like 2 years ago. They really hyped that up in the live broadcasts. You get $2,000. I think it was if they won an individual event.
I love the idea. I really do because
Oh yeah.
like I'm looking at your girls here, Stacy and Barton. They're pretty close to each other, but they're definitely on the bottom third of the list
Yeah.
here of top 40 girls at the games. So for someone like that coming in their second and third day where they know they're not even going to come close to winning, that prize purse definitely gives them an incentive to really crank. And I just went to look at the last play or the last event, the rope chipper, and Stacy's currently took second entirely in the entire event. So
Yeah,
it still
that's real
gives them an
good for her.
incentive to push really, really hard.
Yeah, Stacy's always been a very well-rounded athlete. Of course, you have to be if you're going to make it to the games. But when she's at the games, she rarely just is unable to do a certain movement. And there was a time a few years back. I think it was maybe the 2013 games where her shoulder, she needed surgery on it. So I mean, she pretty much had to stop halfway through the games. But yeah, she's impressive. This Barton's actually, that's why I didn't know about her. She actually moved from Michigan last year to Omaha, and now she's working at Kyle Kasperbauer's gym, I think. So
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool, man. Those are your hometown girls, so to see that definitely, I know makes you
yeah,
happy.
yeah. And Barton was quoted hoping to place in the top 10 as a rookie, which it's been done before, but it's easier said than done.
Tidbits there. Barton's 28, Tovar is 31. That's coming on retirement, right? Actually, I saw something Tovar. I could have swore it was on her Instagram or an article that was just written on her. I think it was a games article. It just came up, Kirk. You got to read it. But she's basically admitting that this is her last year or the year to come, and she's going to slow it down and try to raise the family. So
Right?
that's
Yeah.
the thing
Her
to
her
read that.
husband
Her.
her husband really wants kids. He's a great guy, heck of an athlete. Uh, he was a wrestler too, just like you. So
Wrestler,
yeah,
wrestler.
he was a beast when I was back there. But all right, next subject. It's a controversial one. And CrossFit loves to be controversial. Uh, they're going to award all the winners this year with Glocks. Uh, so
uh,
what's your immediate thought on that subject?
I'm not surprised. That was my first. That was my first thought when it came out. Uh, Reading some of the comments are a little bit rough to read. I mean, people are pretty brash and tough about their thoughts. It just reminds me, what's that one quote? Never talk about religion or politics. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like people feel like CrossFit has a hidden agenda. There's none whatsoever. There's
Oh
another
no.
article after you sent that I read from Dave Castro, and he basically said, "Listen, like I love shooting guns. I don't know what to tell you. I had a connection, and the individual that someone at the company had asked if they wanted some type of prize to give out, and he said yes. I think obviously when you're a big organization, you have to think about twice about the type of you know product or gift you're going to give to somebody,
Hmm.
but uh, you know they don't care. I mean,
Yeah,
it
and
obviously didn't
it's
keep them
interesting
from.
if the Icelandic, let's say Icelandic girl wins, she's going to get a Glock, but can they even legally have Glocks in Iceland?
Yeah, that's a good point. Policy wise, again, I don't think they uh they think that far. I think they just think it's a neat gift to give
yeah.
to somebody. I think it's a really sensitive topic right now, uh, given everything that's going on in the U.S. and
Hmm.
outside of here. But yeah, I just don't think they even thought that far or cared to think about how those were
Hmm.
gonna, go across seas if
Yeah.
they ever made it that far. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
I don't know. You can't. The problem with these kind of issues is um, they're very emotionally driven, and so it's a win lose conversation. So even if I had a great argument towards it, there's someone else who's passionate about an argument against it. So I can't say it was a good idea or a bad idea because at the end of the day, it still happened and it's not going to
mhm.
change their view on things. This reminds me, like, I don't know. That's just how they are, man. They don't really care.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah, well, Castro's always been a kind of a polarizing guy. Either you like him or you don't, and he doesn't care if you like him or not. Um, and him giving Glocks out, I think he knows how to draw attention to the sport that he's pretty much created. So I think it's a smart move in a way. He's just stirring the pot. He's just sitting back laughing. He doesn't, Of course, he's pro gun. He's pro Second Amendment, but like this is America. Everyone, it's not illegal to own a gun, and I don't think, the problem comes in when you have the sponsors, the sponsors of the event, if they don't, align with that gifting, like Reebok went out and said, where is it at? I'm not
Yeah,
going to be
they
able to
came in
quote.
and basically, yeah, they basically went against the choice that CrossFit made to give out the guns, and that if it was up to them, they wouldn't have done it. Is basically what it came to. So
Right.
yeah,
It's
that's
funny.
very interesting coming from the sponsor.
Yeah, I just think
You
it's
know,
amusing. I don't people take it way too serious. I mean, this is
yeah,
America.
way too serious. And I was just going back to the article you sent, and he basically said, yeah, that what I paraphrased was, since I was an avid shooter, I have friends at some of the major shooting companies. He said one of them was Glock, who was interested
Hmm.
in giving guns to the winners of the games. I said, absolutely. We have gifted guns at the games before. This was not a first. So
Right. It's
I
just
just think the situation.
someone who's anti-guns got a hold of this and just ran with it to the media.
Yeah, dude, and it's been everywhere because you know how Facebook has the related articles. I mean, USA Today wrote
Oh yeah.
something. Here's a Fox News one. They're all over the place.
Gosh.
But
It's,
you know,
it's, you would think the news channels had something better to talk about, but
it just
whatever.
reminds me. You know what? It just reminds me of on rest days. Like when you look at the a lot of the days on rest days, there's always like political articles that they post on the CrossFit.com
Mm,
website, and it's the same crap. You know, I think it's to stir the pot, get people talking.
mm-hmm.
But it's America. I mean, this is that's their
Yeah.
choice to
Yeah, it's freedom to of speech and freedom to bear arms. So there shouldn't be any negative uh, outlooks. But this is the culture we live in. It's very anti. Believe it or not, it's a lot of anti-America culture out there in America that don't like the rules that we have in place. So
yeah.
moving
But again,
on.
at the end of the day, I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean it's
not my
we're
kid. Like, do
yeah.
I have a choice? You know, are they secretly, part of the NRA?
Oh
Like,
yeah, are they? Wow.
they trying to, are we going to see an email from CrossFit sending us NRA memberships next month? Absolutely not. That's,
Right. I don't
I,
think CrossFit's in bed with NRA, uh, similar to what the NSCA is
yeah,
in bed with, what Coca
okay,
Cola and
yeah,
all, like
yeah, yeah.
probably big pharma too. So yeah. Moving on. CrossFit gives the world another silly reason to hate this sport. So this, I don't even know who the guys are. Stack.com. I should probably follow them more just for entertainment purposes. But oh, they just start hating on everything CrossFit. I
Oh,
started watching this video of this guy talking about the detriments of CrossFit. I only made about halfway through because he has no grounds. He was saying uh, adults shouldn't practice Olympic lifting because they're inflexible.
I
So,
mean, is that even a combo? I mean, is that combo still exist today about Olympic lifting
well,
and
apparently,
going? My gosh!
yeah, and he, of course, he teed off on kipping pull-ups
Oh my
and
gosh!
kipping pull-ups is just a totally different movement than a strict pull-up. It's as coaches we know the more you can do with your pulling movements, the the more athletic you're going to be, the more fit you're going to be. So we don't we don't adhere to just strict pull-ups, but it is the foundation where these guys only limit themselves probably to some sort of strict pull-up or chin-up or maybe machine-based. I don't know. I'll have to look into these guys some more. They don't like the CrossFit, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they don't drink the Kool-Aid, that's for sure.
yeah. So I mean, he's just talking about how he's continuing the Glock argument that oh gosh, CrossFit games are stupid to begin with. Now they're giving away Glocks. As you can imagine, reactions have been mixed and controversial, blah blah blah. And he's just quoting people. Uh,
Yeah, it's clickbait, man. 101.
yeah,
CrossFit is a silly quote sport. Then he tries to attach the gift prize to being just another silly thing that CrossFit does. You know, I'm I give no credibility to this article
Yeah,
whatsoever.
right. Yeah, it's all just this guy's just saying, uh, yeah, it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be giving out clocks with the abundance of gun violence in the world. So there's always been violence in the world, and that's the way it's gonna always be. But all right, we'll move on. We'll move on. Let's see here. This came up. I thought it was interesting. These guys claim, CrossFit athletes everywhere are smoking cannabis to improve their 1 rep maxes, the recovery.
Where did you find this,
I don't
bro?
know.
Like, hilarious. I've never heard of
I
this.
don't know. Green Rush Daily. Someone's getting their Green Rush Daily,
Here's
and
a couple of things. First of all, I thought it was ingenious for recovery's sake. That's number one. Number two was, is cannabis, is it a banned substance on their drug testing?
I think it is. I think it
Is
is.
it?
I think it is. Yeah.
We got to look that up, man, because I thought it was very interesting. Because, I mean, do you like get away from the notion is weed is bad for you, blah blah blah, like it's illegal? No. What I was thinking, do you consider it a performance enhancing drug? Do you?
Would I? Yeah. Yeah.
That was what was interesting to me because there's got to be some association. I don't know about, I wasn't really digging. The article had two fronts. It says it's great to take pre-workout, which I thought was a terrible idea because no one ever typically comes out of smoking weed excited and wanting to go party. Uh, but the other one that was interesting is that they use it for recovery's sake. Uh, that is the more interesting point of view that
Right.
I want to talk about. Because if we treat the idea of performance enhancing drugs as one that doesn't really, it's not magical. You don't take it and all of a sudden your biceps are huge or allows you to run a 6 minute
Hmm.
mile. But what performance enhancing drugs do is they allow you to recover faster
Hmm.
going into the same training sessions other people are going into
Hmm.
without them. And if that's the case, there's definitely something to cannabis acting as a performance enhancing drug
Yeah.
because it
Absolutely.
does alleviate muscle aches and pains. I mean, we've heard these studies that have gone out with people that have these other diseases that cause immense amount of pain and how that helps alleviate that pain.
Hmm.
So there's definitely something towards that. Now, obviously, they don't mention, for the sake of the CrossFitters, anyone who's actually doing it and it can positively say that it benefits them some way, but it's very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this article is not based in any statistics or any real tests, um, but I think it would be interesting to see if someone were to do a test on it. Um, we know in the NFL, athletes get busted every year for smoking weed, and oftentimes it's repeat offenders. NFL's, I mean, the nature of the sport's brutal. The amount of pain these guys have to endure week in, week out, and then their bodies are wrecked for the rest of their lives. So I mean, they smoke weed for a reason, but it's also illegal because it is an illegal drug in most parts of America,
Hmm.
but it's also I think a lot of people realize it is a performance enhancement. It can help with sleep. It can help with recovery, pain management, probably some other things too. I don't think it helps with cardiovascular VO2 max or anything like that.
Yeah, it says something about allowing to help you focus in the middle of a workout. I don't see that either.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't imagine that. You would think they would lose focus, but I've never smoked weed before, so I have no idea. But
I just went to the banned substance list for CrossFit, and it includes quote street drugs. So yeah, it's definitely
yeah.
uh, a banned substance: stimulants, anabolic agents, beta blockers, street drugs, diuretics, peptide hormones, anti-estrogens. Interesting.
Hmm.
So yeah, marijuana. Yeah, there it is. Street drugs: heroin, marijuana, THC. Yeah, it's interesting, but. Um, if there is any drug that's quick to hide or dilute, it's definitely marijuana. Like I think the protocol is 24 to 48 hours.
Is that it?
Yeah, 28 to 48 hours
Holy cow.
to remove the THC in your bloodstream
Hmm.
or urine, I guess, because that's how they typically test it now is urine.
Do you know how they test those CrossFit athletes nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, all of it's still random. I don't know what their new protocols are, especially going into events like that. But let's say so you have the random testing. We know that. We don't know how often it's happening to how many people. It's not public when they do most of it.
Hmm.
And then two, they're probably doing it at the games or regionals, and if that's happening, those tests are going
Hmm.
on. Those tests are easy to hide
Yeah.
for sure. But you know,
No,
I don't know.
I
I
hope.
thought it was very interesting
Yeah.
as a performance enhancer, nonetheless.
I would hope that all the athletes in the games are clean, and a lot of people out there are convinced that they're not, but nothing's came out to prove otherwise.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm under the same impression. If they haven't caught them, then I'm a purist, so I'm gonna believe that they're not doing it.
right.
You know, but could the test be more stringent? Could they be done more
Hmm.
often? Could they be done more frequent? Definitely,
I would
definitely.
definitely say. I mean, you would think they should do it more often, but it's so hard to implement. I mean, these guys are not under contract. They're not in any sort of league or anything.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a really good point. Like, where does a legal issue come about?
yeah.
Is it? Yeah, that's a really good point. You can't just randomly test people, especially if they've never, even come to the level of the games. Or who's to say they can? What papers do these CrossFit athletes sign going to the games? I don't think they sign anything.
Yeah. I mean, I
It's a
I
really
don't
good
know much
point.
about
It's a
it,
good
so
point.
yeah. As we don't know what the future of competing in CrossFit is. So we if it keeps growing, there's going to have to be greater and greater restrictions and more often testing on obviously drugs and performance enhancement. So
Yeah.
all right, and then last topic, and this is a topic that's pretty common uh, in CrossFit. Not necessarily this case, but even the CrossFit Games is with their advertisements on TV. They're advertising people who are either old or, as what we would call physically disabled, being able to do things they never done before. So this is in Fayetteville. This is 5 News Online. Um, but yeah, this guy with cerebral palsy. I'll go ahead and play the video. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, we'll just kind of see what this guy's able to do with a real tough physical condition. I mean, I've only I've only seen cerebral palsy a couple times firsthand in the fitness world. When I was in college, I had to teach an 8-year-old boy how to swim with cerebral palsy. So I mean, it's impressive what they're able to still do with their bodies, even though their nervous system and their bodies are just. I mean, this guy's overhead pressing. He's doing ring rows. I mean, he's doing things that our athletes do. I mean, the great thing about CrossFit is infinitely scalable,
Right.
depending on each person's capacity.
When I
Um,
took my level two a couple years ago, there was a girl. Do you know the girl Steph Hammerman? She's a real famous CrossFitter with CP. And not only did I get to meet her because she was taking the cert there with me, we had a team workout and we ended up working out together. I didn't tell you this, did I?
mm-mm,
And it was an amazing experience. One of the things that I was sure to do or not do was to treat her any
right.
differently. And the workout called, I mean, the workout called for cleans or something like that. and she's not physically able, just like the gentleman in the video, not physically able to stand on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But she can do a modified version of the clean on her
Right.
knees, where she would like muscle clean it to the rack position. And dude, I treated her like everyone else there that was cranking,
Mm-hmm.
trying to win as a team. And what was really powerful after that workout, she came up to me and she said, "Hey, listen, thanks for not treating me any differently. Thanks for not asking me like if I needed extra help or whatnot, because sometimes she gets, because of the way that she is, people are constantly trying to be extra nice, and doing that, uh, it does worse for someone like her.
Oh
It
yeah.
doesn't feel like independent, or she's able to do these things on her own. And that's why she loves CrossFit so much, is
Yeah.
because it gives her that level of independence, and people make her feel like she's
Yeah.
part of the community.
Right.
So she was super grateful of that. It's an amazing story. She's stronger. She showed me pictures of how much weight that she had lost and how much
Right.
more she was able to do because of that. Physical activity is huge. And with someone like that, I can't tell you how empowering that program is
Mm-hmm.
for people like them. Now with you saw with Wadapalooza, they have the adaptive athletes division,
I've
and
heard
that
about
that division
that.
is getting
Yeah.
bigger and bigger, and it's phenomenal. I think it's a phenomenal program. Because we're all in it for the same reason. We want to get
Mm-hmm.
healthy and get in shape and be in shape, and why can't they? So
Right. And
yeah, that was a really cool experience that I had with her.
yeah, and it's another way for disabled athletes, other than maybe the Special Olympics, to be able to compete at a high level. So I think that's pretty cool of them to offer that division. Um, but yeah, I mean, what they're able to do
I'm
is
pretty
more
sure I saw a
impressive.
status, Kirk. It was on the games too. They had it. It wasn't on TV or anything like that, but they just had a division.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw a post that came up about something like that.
Huh, we'll have to look into that probably, maybe for next week's.
Cool.
But yeah, this guy's claiming the same things. It's helped him lower his weight uh, and just help him with his motivation. Um, but man, it's really cool when these athletes are performing at a high level, and doing things they our culture says they shouldn't be doing. It's definitely touching.
Yeah, it's powerful. I mean, when you look at that story, you watch that video, you can't have an excuse of why you're not doing
Right.
something. And I
Yeah.
think what the ultimate motivator is, like, you take someone that could have that legitimately could have made a million excuses of why they couldn't perform physical activity or stay healthy. Like,
Hmm.
that's all I got to do is show the video.
Yeah.
You can,
If you show a video, show a video like this, or the one that they keep showing on the CrossFit Games commercials, is this
the old,
like 79-year-old or something,
yeah,
old
yeah,
lady
yeah.
that couldn't tie her shoes. And so the most important thing, two most important things with her they're trying to do is just get her stronger and improve her flexibility.
Yeah, dude, we
Um,
got to put that on the show next week. That was she's empowering. Lost 20
yeah,
pounds, like gaining, constantly gaining back her
yeah.
mobility. Yeah,
And she was so
it's
sweet. She says she's not ready to die yet, and she's doing everything she can to reverse the effects of aging. So it's pretty cool.
yeah, man, it's powerful stuff. I mean, that's why we do what we do.
All right, well that's all we got for today. Mara, do you have any last words?
That's it, man. I'm excited. I hope you guys took something from this. Um, Give us some suggestions. Email us personally or comment below,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll try to bring these topics up and be as fair as we can about putting in new information in there for you guys.
Yeah, and if you guys see some articles online that you would like us to discuss, definitely send them our way, either via email or in the comments below. And we'd also love to do a Q&A in the future. So if you have certain questions about anything in the fitness world, or personal movements, or whatever you need to be answered, we can definitely hit on that with a Q&A segment at the end of our little article talking. So that's it.